morning. This is Dr. Ruby coming at you live from my studio. And please forgive me for the background. For whatever reason, my background is deciding to do whatever it wants to do this morning. And so, but that ties right into what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about simplifying and being more efficient. And so, of course, we all know that efficiency is doing something as simple as possible for the best possible outcome, right? And so, efficiency does not always mean doing things the quick way. Sometimes efficiency means going through the process or going through the steps that are necessary in order to get something done. Now, in order to be efficient, sometimes it requires you to simplify. So, in the last two newsletters I produced, one talked about simplifying and one talked about being efficient. And if you haven't read those newsletters, I want to give you the opportunity to go to my website at www.rubyecomment.com and subscribe. And those newsletters will be in my archive within the next 24 hours because those are the most recent. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. But I want you to learn how to be more efficient and I want you to learn how to simplify. I talked a few weeks ago about how to declutter, how to look around for those things that you do not need in your life, whether they're in your physical space, whether they're in your emotional space, whether they're in your mental space, whatever. Get rid of things that you don't need. Simplify. So, simplifying is the next process of decluttering. Sometimes we have to simplify processes. Now, because I have such a committed schedule and I am committed to a lot of things, I have to have a schedule that's going to work for me. Classic example. On my schedule every Monday morning from 9 to 9:30 is my calendar update. And so I take that time to sit down. I keep a paper calendar right here on my desk. I keep my electronic calendar. And then I have my electronic calendar that's connected to my automated system. And so all of those calendars have to talk to one another because if I'm working in my automated system, that calendar have to say the same thing my phone says because my phone is with me all the time, right? So if I'm out and about and I need to check a schedule or check for availability, I need to be able to look at my calendar and say, oh, yeah, I'm available during that time. Well, let me tell you what happened. While I was teaching you all about decluttering and simplifying and self-care and all of that, I slid off my schedule a little bit. Confession is good for the soul, right? I slid off my calendar a little bit. And for about 3 to 4 weeks, I stopped syncing my calendars on Monday morning. That was detrimental because you know what happened to me? I missed some appointments. I double booked some things. And because my automated calendar wasn't up to date, some people were able to schedule some things on some times that I really wasn't available. Embarrassing. Because then I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice as to whether I would ask them to reschedule or whether I would reschedule the other thing that I needed to do. Now, I am efficient, but I'm not perfect. And I use systems to make sure that at all times that everything is together. So this week or last week, I had to get back on track. I had to say, regardless of what's happening around me on Monday morning from 9 to 9:30, I am sitting at my desk and I'm syncing all of my calendars because I had become less efficient. I had allowed my systems to slide off kilter. And so, why am I telling you all of that? Number one, because like I said, confession is good for the soul. And number two, I don't ever want anybody to think that Dr. Ruby is perfect because, of course, I'm not. However, how do you simplify so that you can become more efficient? One of the best things that I ever did was to subscribe to an automated system. That was the best thing that I ever did. Now, it took me a little while to set it up and to get everything functioning and rolling, but my businesses almost run themselves because that system is so efficient. It's worth the investment. I did a workshop maybe a year or so ago called The Value of Investment. And I talked about those things that we automatically say, oh, I could do that myself. Oh, I could do that myself. Yes, maybe you can, but is it the best use of your time? So I invested money in a system that will help me to be more efficient. It also simplified some things for me because every time a letter needs to go out, every time a reminder needs to go out, every time an invoice needs to go out, or every time someone wants to make contact with me, they shouldn't have to call me on the phone, or I shouldn't have to sit and type a letter to go out to 20 different people. I found a system that would work. Simplification is all about finding a system that works for you. Being efficient is all about finding a simple system that works for you. And so, what are some of the things that you can do to simplify your life? Now, for some of my seasoned people, you may not feel comfortable with this yet. But I find value in placing bills on auto pay. Now, also for people who don't have a real good handle on money coming in, money going out, that may not work for you either. But that's got to be a part of your simplification system so that you can be more efficient. You have to know at all time what's in your bank accounts, what money is available to be used. That's why online banking is so important. Now, again, not everybody feels comfortable with that. I had someone tell me some years ago, girl, no, I don't believe in all that online banking stuff. I still go to the currency exchange and cash my check. I still, keep cash. Yeah, that may work for some, but look at the extra steps that you have to take in order to get those things done when you can look on your phone, look on your computer, and find out what's in your bank account. Find out what money you have to spend. Find out what expenses have come out. I've had situations, even with my bank accounts, where my bank account was compromised. And I was able to look online and say, nope, that's not my transaction. Nope, that's not my transaction, or what have you. So simplifying and being more efficient comes with knowing what processes work for you. The other part of that person saying that they still go to the currency exchange was because they didn't trust Big Brother. Guess what? Big Brother is watching. He sees everything he needs to see. Is that going to stop something from happening with your bank account, with your mail, or what have you? It may not, but there are systems in place to protect you. So you don't have to be fearful of auto pay and online banking because there are systems in place. There are systems that are intended to make your life simpler and more effective. Also, you all know from February up until I'll just say today, because I'm always talking about self-care. One of the other things that make you more efficient is to block off self-care time, to make sure that there's always some me time available for you. That gives you the opportunity to declutter your mind. And self-care don't have to be anything dramatic. It don't have to be you going to the spa or going to the get a massage. It could be something as simple as you sitting down and just quieting yourself. It could be something as simple as sitting down reading an enjoyable book. That's self-care time. Because what it does is it declutters your mind and it simplifies your mind so that you're able to think clearly on the other things that you need to do. Another thing that may be helpful in terms of efficiency and simplifying is meal prepping. If you have a busy lifestyle, it's worth it to take an hour or 2 hours on a day that's less committed to plan your meals during the week. That may include grocery shopping, cooking several meals so that all you have to do on those overly committed days is grab and go. And it's also healthier because then you're not stopping at all of the fast food places along your route and eating things that are both not efficient for your body and not efficient for your budget. Then, as part of the self-care, take the opportunity to put your phone on DND. I know you all know what that is. Do not disturb. Now, I have elderly parents, so I'm always going to be available to them. But when I'm putting my phone on DND, do not disturb, everybody that's around, if it's going to be for longer than an hour or 2 hours, or if it's going to be for a day, those that are around me that are important to me that need to know how to get in contact with me will always know my phone is on DND, do not disturb. If you really, really need me, go ahead and notify me anyway. But give yourself the opportunity to not be so available to everybody. We are pimped by these little devices, these phones. We are pimped by them. You know, I can't leave the house without my phone. What if somebody needs to get in contact with me? It makes us hyper vigilant, and it puts us on too much of an alert, makes our emotions go crazy. And then my final tip for you for simplifying and being more efficient is to delegate. You don't have to try to do everything yourself. You all know I brag about my team. I have an amazing team that works with me that help me to simplify things, help me to run things more efficiently. I had a meeting this morning, and I called my media director, my son, Nathan, and I said, hey, I need you to make sure that my computer is set up. I need to make sure that everything is set up because I'm going to have to run in the door and jump online, because I can't do it all myself because of the commitments that I have. And so do yourself a favor, declutter your life, find some efficient systems, and simplify your processes. If you need to know how to do those things, go to my website at www.rubyepowell.com, schedule a free 30-minute consultation, subscribe to my newsletter, and let's get you on the track to being more efficient. I'm Dr. Ruby, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.